Uh, welcome in. Episode, episode 6. No, episode 5. Ooh, girl. I'm pushing to the end. Episode 5. It's episode 5.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Phenomenal. Oh, I feel black. How you're wearing black for the
I'm
yes,
fitting for the episode. It
it
was
is.
fitting, so had to.
Mm-hmm.
Keep letting them come in. Y'all welcome.
Yes, I have my incense going,
Ooh.
and it's a water week. Do you have matcha?
I was actually gonna tell you, I just have a green juice.
Close enough.
I was like, I'm gonna do a green juice for him. Green matcha. That's what it's giving.
Mm-hmm.
Greens today.
Yes, exactly.
I guess I'll start it off.
Yeah,
Uh,
let's get started.
since I'm hosting. Hi, welcome. It's obviously Lizzie here. Y'all should know me by now, but if you don't, I am a esthetician in the making, have a YouTube channel, and a new addition. Your girl is doing some stickers, okay? This has been a dream of mine from, ever since I was small. So I have a sticker shop. I will keep y'all tuned in the description, all of that. And yeah, just, a skin enthusiast, a black enthusiast, uh all of it.
Above. All of the above.
all the
Yes. All right. Well, beautiful co-host, thank you. And my name's Gabrielle, Glow Getter Gab on media platforms. I own a skincare shop on Etsy. So we all about skin. We all about being healthy from the inside and out. And so you can check out my Etsy shop, Earth Unleashed. I also have an affirmation podcast to really help your minds align. And so we're really here for our own liberation, self-love, and that's really what this episode is going to be about. So I'm happy to dive in, tap in, and all that. So yeah.
Hey, wow, that was a good. This might have been our best intro yet. I mean, I'm just saying, like, y'all already know what it is. Y'all already know what it is. We have to give you the disclaimer. You
Yeah.
have we have to throw it out there. So I'm gonna just start with it before we get into it. But the matcha meetup. This is a conversation in a safe space that represents our mindsets, opinions, beliefs, and perspectives of the world as we view it right now, with new information that is subject to change.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, let's get into it.
Yes, let's get into it. Better
Uh,
right in.
this week's topic is about being Black, and specifically, since we're from America, or
Yes.
raised in America,
Mhm.
we are going to talk about our experience being Black in America.
Yes.
Um, I guess you want me to start or
Yeah. Start. Let's
okay.
get something.
There was no question that growing up that we were Black, obviously, and I was very aware that um, since I was of a lighter shade, it was noticeable in a point where it was pointed out pretty often. You know,
Hmm.
um, this is among my peers, among, growing up, a lot of who we were surrounded by were black people.
Yeah.
Um, most white people I saw was when I went to, what we talked about, boarding school. That's the most, as far as with immediately or being immersed in a lot of, you know, essentially around a lot of white people.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I feel like there's definitely, I feel like one of the biggest thing that comes to me when it comes to skin tone and everything like that, I noticed from a very young age, people would ask me, "Are you mixed?"
Hmm.
All
Really?
the Yeah, all the time. "Are you mixed?" And I would say no. I was like, yeah, I have other, lineage, ha, you know, obviously to obviously to be the shade.
Yeah.
There's and I don't want to go back yet before we bring up the history,
Yeah.
but obviously that's the case. But when people would ask me like, "Are you mixed?" and I would say no, it's like they wouldn't believe me. They wouldn't believe me. They're like, "You have to be mixed." And honestly, at the time, I didn't see how much of a almost of a insult that was to say to somebody, where it's like, and it's almost deeming with desirability, like, because you look the way you look, you have to be mixed, because there's no way, you know what I mean, that you could be whatever the case was, because it was a lot of men. I'm gonna be honest, it was a lot of men saying that, and then saying, letting that be deemed as the level of desirability that they felt.
You're pretty for a black girl.
Yes, exactly.
That type of, yeah.
If i had if i had if i had a penny for time, that oh my goodness, like that. And that's something that I didn't know at the time was an insult too, you
Mm.
know whereas like I didn't really think about it that hard, but for somebody to say that you're pretty is in spite of being a black girl, that's pretty much what they're saying.
Yeah. Like black and beautiful, black and pretty is not synonymous. So you're an exception.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. i'm
'Cause-
not I'm gonna open it up with a story. I'm gonna
okay.
open the story, okay? I want to tell you the story. So, I was we both went to a HBCU, which is historically black, college, university, all of it. So yeah, we went to a HBCU, right? Loved it, submerged in the culture, all of it. I felt it. There was no doubt about it. Every single time I walked into class, that I didn't feel that way. And coming from, a mixed white, mostly white school, it was a switch up from high school to college. A nice switch up. Nice switch up. Not saying that there's a problem. But anyway, I remember walking to the market, which is a place like, where everyone would get food, hang out, all the stuff like that. I remember one day I was walking to the market, and on my way there, I was walking by myself, and I guess these two guys were having a conversation before they were having a previous conversation before I got there.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm walking up, he points to my hair. Mind you, at the time my hair was in two puffs. So think two puffs, right?
Yeah.
Right now my hair's a little wet or whatever, but yeah, the curls were popping. We're gonna say that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "That's what I mean. That's good hair."
Wow. So they were talking about it before you even.
Yes, they were clearly having a discussion before I had even walked on the scene. And I'm just walking, minding my business. And this is at a HBCU. So
Yeah.
I think that story just shows how skewed and we are as a people to say that, and the fact that he's deeming that as like, that's essentially that's what I want. And I didn't even have the energy or the time to even jump into that conversation, but at the time I knew what the conversation was about before, and I heard them as they were talking as I was walking away.
Hmm.
Mind you, it wasn't like I was far away across the I was right there, okay? I was right there walking past them. So
Yeah.
yeah.
The level of self hate that is in our communities is it's very saddening to me. And it's just like with that whole entire hair has just been something that has been manipulated and misconstrued of how we view ourselves. And so like even like I had perms in my hair since however long I could remember, like maybe 10, I think our parents started perming my hair, and they didn't perm you or our little sister's hair at all. And it's just like why is that? Was it because
I did get a relaxer though.
Mhm. Yes.
Relaxer at one point.
No, that was a texturizer, not a relaxer.
Texturizer. Yeah, that.
Still an issue too, because these are chemicals that alter your composition of your hair structure. So essentially, you're saying to yourself and to God that you don't like how you look. And
Mm.
these and it's just like the same thing. Most people are just like, oh, okay, like I wouldn't necessarily do a boob job or this and that, but also easily um just put relaxer in my hair, do all these different things to my hair, and it's just like your hair is so precious, and it's your crown, you know, it's your crown, it's your sign of royalty, and it's like putting back that love into your hair. Like that's something that I have had to take a time to like really pour into myself with that, because I know that a lot of black women and black men can attest to the fact that hair has been something that has been politicized, that has been criticized, that has been demonized, all those different things. And it's just like the the limitations to just be yourself and be black. Have coils out your head, have locks, all these things. Even calling dreadlocks is something that's from the white nation telling us, hey, that's dreadful, and so we're calling it dreadlocks. That's the origination of that word, dreadlocks. And that's why I don't use that when I speak about people who have locks or have their hair locked, because it's just like no, words are really powerful. And so just the fact that you overheard that, and that was something that like was prevalent, like past them having that conversation, that's a conversation that I know many of us can really like resonate with, because a lot of people will be like, okay, like the way that they're combing their child's hair, combing their own hair, or oh, I want to make sure marry a white man or marry this type of person so that my child's hair can have better hair or good hair, which is like looser curls or this and that. Like nobody wants to have no curls at all, but like just a little loose, just a little this and that. And it's just like it's really penetrating our minds of like what we feel is beautiful and what we deem desirable, like how you were saying. And so, which is basically, well, with skin color, it's colorism. But
Yeah.
what I learned was that like a different way to view colorism is basically internal racism. So that's us doing that to each other based on the enslavement that we have gone through, with
Mm.
differences of who's lighter, who's darker, where do they go, where do they work, different things like that. And so all that has is still pervasive in our society today and in the Black community, because we haven't truly healed from post-traumatic slave syndrome. Quite frankly, we really haven't. And that in that enslavement period, like we need to heal from that before we can move into our true and our birthright, which is being kings and queens of this entire nation. Like that's really what it's about. And so, but we do have to heal from that. And that actually goes to a book. There's a book called Post Traumatic Slave Syndrome. It's by this lady, Joy Angela Degree. So I'm going to put it in the description so that everyone can read it. I highly recommend it. It's something that, like, wow, it touches the psychology behind it of what has happened to us as a people. And so it's just like it's intergenerational. Like we have been taught to diminish ourselves by even other Black people, because they were taught that too.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so it's just like let's talk a little bit of how we were named and why our names were given to us in that specific way. I definitely want to touch on that. Can you?
Yeah. What's funny is I remember that so I remember our dad told us that he wanted our names to not inhibit us getting potential jobs
Mhm, mhm. Yeah.
because it is statistically it has been shown
Mhm,
as far as that, yeah, you may people that it's a first impression, and obviously depending on who's looking at it, obviously is going to view it from their lens of what they deem professional or not.
mhm.
I Yeah, as far as this is, but even past that, at the time frame that they were growing up in and raising us and stuff like that, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen now, because it definitely does, but it's a little more known now
Yeah.
as far as collectively that this really does happen, right?
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I remember somebody joking on me and saying that your name looks like the sample name, like, in cards, or
Yeah.
like uh in Google, and they have sample letters, and then you have that.
Yeah.
Somebody said that to me, was like, your name sounds like a sample name, right? And it's funny because it's like that was kind of the point
The point. Yeah.
of what we were,
Yeah.
told.
To essentially be more palatable to white society. It's a tough pill to swallow, and that may not be acknowledged truly. However, that is what it is. Like that is what the whole entire like white voice on the phone. Like, oh, let me switch up my. You're just trying to be palatable, being
It's
a good, like basically a good enslaved person. That's really like the connotation. That's the psychology behind it, and it's just like, wow, like there's still different ways on how we are still trying to win the love of our oppressor.
mm, yikes. Yikes.
Yeah, right.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, wow. That
Yeah.
just, what you just said kind of shook me a little bit. And
Hmm.
think,
Yeah.
but I never thought about it that that hard.
Let's think about it. Like, think of it as an abusive relationship because, quite frankly, that's what it has been and still is just a lot more covert at this point in time. So you're being beaten and disrespected by a man, and they are diminishing your self-worth. Do you continue to go over there and be like, hey, no, please give me money, please give me money? Or a lot of people will look at women and be like, why are they still there? But like as a nation, majority of us are still trying to march. We still trying to ask for reparations. We asking all the time. We're looking for this refund check. We're looking for all these different things, and it's from the people who have oppressed us notoriously and historically. And so it's just like, how is that healing us? You can't heal in the same place that you were destroyed from. You can't heal from in the same space. And so if we think of it like that, like an abusive relationship, and what we would advise the woman to do or the man to do if they're in that situation, we
Would be-
accordingly, yeah, we should move accordingly with this because it's even more important. Honestly, it's much more important.
Can we please talk about how, with, I'm gonna say the C word, because we are not trying to get the
This,
C word, what happened for 2 years, and we're low key still feeling the aftermath.
okay, yes, 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 yes.
During that time, everything happened. We saw a lot of brutality um, be uh, pushed to the front. Not saying this has been happening
Yeah,
for
yeah,
for as long as I can remember, and even past that. But obviously, we saw a shift in the difference of, you know, people who seemed to think that it was over, realizing that it really isn't.
yeah.
Right? And I can we please just talk about how the fact that, I'm sorry, but having our hair care section in Target and getting it. Oh, we have a spread in this. Oh, well, now there's a line that says that is not what we're that's not what we want. Okay, that's not what we want, and that's not okay. That's what we're settling for.
But
Okay.
exactly, that's what we settle for. And it seems like we accept it as a people, that we accept a black man in office who does not create any legislation or anything for our people. We accept a natural hair care section that that gives us, oh, we can do curls, we can do that, da, da, da. But there's no real authentic like shift, and we're looking outside of ourselves for something that we need to find within. We need to look back at our history. We need to look back within ourselves to really see the value within just being black and breathing.
Mm,
Like this death culture, as in, listen, I'm gonna break it down. Like, death culture is twofold. So with the Black Lives Matter movement, death culture, like as soon as someone passes away and they're black and they have been brutally murdered by a policeman, then we're going to march around and talk about them for so long and all these different things. And also in rap and social media and just mainstream media, we are like, we like, how to explain, glorify drugs, murdering, like degrading, sexual degradation, all these different things that really will destroy one's soul, like one's inner spirit. And so with that, that's all to destroy us, that death culture. And however, we want, but Black Lives Matter, and we should be living a life black and beautiful, but we're only going to do that when someone passes away or when someone dies. However, when I see a black brother on the street, do I say, "Hey King, hey brother"? Do I see another woman, a black woman who looks just like me on the street, and do I say, "Hey sister, hope you're doing good, keep your head up"? Do we speak to each other on a daily basis on that type of timing? Like, we need to normalize black life, like just black joy, black girl magic, all those things, but not just in, oh, this person looks cute or they're doing a funny dance or this and that. It's like really what they bring to the table, like their worthiness has nothing to do with anything but them being here and existing on this planet. Like, when we realize that for ourselves, and then we can impart that to other people that look like us. And it's just like we're at a spot where it's shifting, because there's more people who are waking up to the God within, to the goddess within. However, social media and like mainstream media is just so loud. It's really loud, and it sometimes can get us like distracted and all these things. I actually want to bring up a quote by Dr. Frances Cress Wilson. She says, "If you can train people to demean and degrade themselves, you can oppress them forever. You can even program them to kill themselves, and they don't even understand what has happened." Literally, we degrade, like as a people, degrading ourselves, calling each other hoes, the B word, the N word, all these things. We call black men dogs, all these things that are not true, but we continue to perpetuate it. We think it's cool, we think it's fun, it's the culture. Then other races think it's cool, it's fun, it's the culture. And however, this is literally the degradation of us, who we are as a people, our nation. And it's like, we gotta stop it. We really gotta stop it. And it starts with us. So I know it starts with me. And so every single time I speak to someone who looks like me, who's a part of the Black nation, I'm always speaking life into them. Queen, king, God, goddess, brother, sister, we're all connected. And as soon as we realize that and we move accordingly, that's really what's going to get us out. And it's really in our minds. They have us in our minds. So at this point, Black people are their own oppressors. You heard it here. That
that's
that's
what boots.
it's a tough pill to swallow. It's a you know what I'm saying? It's a tough pill to swallow. But right
It
now, nobody has chains on us.
Mm.
We do, like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody has chains on us. The chains are in our mind. We keep walking around saying that we're oppressed, we're this, we're that. You keep saying that, then that's what's going to continue. But if you continue to say, hey, no, we're gods, we're kings, we're queens, we're here to do something beautiful for the world. We matter. Literally, we matter, we're worthy, and we're here to get what's ours and what has been taken from us. That just shifts the whole, it shifts the vibration of what you're saying about yourself and what you say to your children, what you say to your friends, what you say to your parents. And so it's like, what are some, want to ask you a question. What are some things that have been said to you or around you about being Black that now looking back, you're like, oh, that's a little like diminishing or negative in that sense? Can you expound?
I would definitely say, oof, this it's taking me back because like like literally what in the world was said. Like I didn't realize that like I knew at the time, but it bothers me even more, thinking about it and stuff like that. But anyway, this was at one of my earlier jobs,
Mm-hmm.
and I had two bosses, very
Okay.
older white women,
Yeah.
and every time I came into work for like the first week,
Mm-hmm.
wow, like isn't Elizabeth so beautiful? Oh, she's so beautiful. She has the perfect skin. Her skin is so perfect. Like shit, like that shade. And mind you,
Uh-huh.
I knew they were not talking about how clear my skin was and how healthy it looked. No, they were not talking about that. They were talking about the shade. That shade. Literally. And at the I was just like ew, like why would you think that that's a it's weird. It's borderline a little bit, you know what I mean?
Fetishizing? Is that,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know if we should say it, but you know what? If we
Say it.
it's
Say it. The people need to hear it.
that's what I think because it's just like how in the world, do you think that that's just like wow? And it's yeah, it's in a sense of envy because that's what they want.
Yeah.
If we're gonna let's talk about spray tans. When I
Mm-hmm.
tell you I cringe every time, it takes everything in me to 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 just be around somebody who has has a spray tan.
Yeah.
A spray tan. Oh yeah, I need to get a spray. Oh, I need to get a tan. Like I personally think that it is on the line of blackface.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
on. It's not right
yeah.
on. Is the is
Yeah.
is right there because
It's socially acceptable.
like that when you go out in the sun,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't look like that when you walk outside and you go in the sun, why in the world is it okay to put that shade on you?
Well, here's another question then. Why is it okay to dye your hair blonde as a Black girl? Why is it okay to straighten your hair all the time, primarily? Why is it okay to get a nose job as a Black girl? Like
I mean, there's both sides to it.
that.
I'm not saying that because I feel like one understanding this is how I have a great appreciation for the
Hmm.
fact that we could switch it up.
Yeah.
We switch it up. Our hair could be curly, our hair could be straight, our hair could be standing up, our hair could be all of that.
Hmm.
And personally, as far as trait dyeing, I've had all of the colors almost in the world.
Hmm.
So nobody comes out the womb with blue hair.
Yeah.
It's really as far as self-expression, as far as that, as far as color, and definitely when it comes to straightening, I definitely can say that I have to get comfortable with my hair and trying to just learning how to do it because I
Yeah.
don't think that it
Yeah.
was truly like really taught as far as with curly hair in our family or
Yeah.
natural in our family because a lot of
It,
our
it wasn't revered. So, and no one knew how to do their own hair. So, yeah, you can't teach what you don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. definitely.
And, you know, YouTube it, search it up. As far, especially like even to this day, like I search up for some stuff and just find out what works for me. I feel like right now I'm kind of in a good space where I'm like, you know,
Mhm.
knowing how my hair reacts to things and stuff like that. But yeah, I know that that's real. And honestly, it takes a moment to, especially if everyone around you isn't, you know, deeming that as admirable. It can take you a moment to get out of that and be
Yeah,
like, you know what, my hair's fine if it's however it is, you know? And
yeah,
personally, I'm just gonna say this personally, as far as with me and having my hair out in my face, I
yeah.
don't like it only because my the oil, the sebum in my hair will get on my skin and it'll break me out.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
that, and that's just my personal. Like I have no problem. Like I let my hair loosen and everything, but as far as my day to day, I notice that's we're not me getting in the skin.
You care.
Like I mean, you talk about what you know and what
Yeah,
you love.
yeah.
So I just know, and it can, you know, it can cause breakouts.
Hmm.
Definitely, if you're not treating, you know, taking care of your hair and like that, all the products, all the stuff like that. So, but that's besides the point. But I know that's something that I had to realize too when I was like, you know, experimenting with my hair and
Hmm.
like figuring out what products, everything like that, and seeing
Yeah,
what effect. But
yeah,
that's a big part of one, just being a being a black woman. It's almost you have to let go of that conscious self feeling self conscious about that.
yeah. There's actually a lot of Black women who may feel like they are not as beautiful with their own hair, so they need extensions or like weaves or different things like that. And it's not to say that those are inherently bad. However, it's like, what's the intention behind it? If you feel like you can't be sexy and fire and go out to the club or wherever you're trying to go to look cute with your own natural hair, then that can be stemming from a deeper issue than just, oh, I want to get my hair done. You know? And so it's like, why do we continue to do these things? Why do we feel like we have to do those things? And if we don't, then now I'm lesser than compared to the next girl that's not a part of the Black nation. So it's just like different things like that, like analyzing why you're doing things and getting deeper into it, because a lot of things have been ingrained in us from past multi-generational trauma, from enslavement, from
Mm,
Jim Crow, from get having trouble in the workplace, from all these different things that our ancestors have experienced, and ancestors including parents, like that close. It's really not that far away. And so it's just like understanding that and trying to dive deep within ourselves to see like why do I really feel like that? Is it because it's genuinely how I feel, or could this have been fed to me?
mhm,
If you do that with like so many different things, even past race, like any sort of topic, then you can really start to begin to see where your thoughts begin and where society or someone else's thoughts begin and end, you know? And that can be an eye-opening exercise for sure. Very eye-opening.
mhm.
So yeah, definitely.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Mhm. Mhm. I know.
It's a
Yeah.
lot.
There's a lot of layers. There's definitely a lot of layers to it. And it's something that we don't speak about. And so I'm not surprised that like right now we're in the live stream, right? And this is our first live stream that no one else is here. Everybody knew the topic. So this is our first live stream that no one else is here. It's a lot to come to grips with what has happened to our people and how we need to shift the culture that we're living in today. And it's difficult when we realize that we're actually tools in our own oppression and not our saviors in that same story. And in reality, we are our own saviors. However, it has been fed to us that we're not. And with that, I'm not surprised that this is a sticky topic. It's a sticky topic, and not even black people want to talk about themselves because we don't know ourselves. History has been manipulated. You know,
Mm.
we don't understand where we're coming from. We think that just slavery was it. Like I asked our mom's side of the family, like, hey, what y'all think? Like, where are we really from? We from Kentucky. We from the South. Where are we really from? You know, really from. And so it's just like, if we don't know who we are, how can we tell the world who we are? And so that means that we could easily be fed a different reality than the one that is actually true. So let me bring another quote since we're on this topic. So this is by Dr. John Henrik Clarke. He's a Black historian, like beautiful writings, beautiful everything. He recently passed away, and I believe about 4 or 5 years ago. Don't quote me on that though. Okay, so here's his quote. Europeans not only colonized most of the world, they began to colonize information about the world and its people. In order to do this, they had to forget or pretend to forget all they had previously known about Africans. So, in order to continue this lie, Europeans have had to believe that they themselves were the first to do this, first to do that. In reality, that's not the case. Actually, Moors from Africa went over to Europe, taught them hygiene and all these different things, taught them mathematics, religion, all these beautiful things that we think that Socrates and Hippocrates all started. That's not the case. We even think that Christopher Columbus was the first one to discover America, when little do people know that there are already Black people here. After,
How can you discover something when people are already there? It makes no sense.
and there's already African people here, and then there's already Native Americans here.
Maybe you were the first white person over here, but
Then let's just
missing a word. We're missing a word.
add that in there. Like, call a spade a spade. Like,
Yeah.
call a spade a spade. And so we have been taught from their books, from their history, their historical context. And so if we're only going to read the stories of the hunter, we will never be able to know the stories of the lion who is being hunted.
Mm.
Let
Ooh.
that sink in.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it again.
I'm writing that down.
If
That's
if you only read the stories of the hunter about the hunt, you only read the stories of the hunter about the hunt, you will never understand and completely grasp the perspective of the lion who is being hunted. Our stories have been diminished on purpose. They have been locked up, sealed away, but now's the time for it to break free. So I'm imploring every single being, every single Black being that is going to listen to this, to do your own research. Read books that are by people who look like you. There's so many Black people, African American people. I actually like to use Black in as a general term for all of us, like whether you from Jamaica, you're from Africa right now, like all these things, we all Black, we're all melanated species. And so it's like, do your own research, look, double check historical dates, double check who's telling you this, who wrote it, where did they go, did they see different things, like even like in Egypt, ancient Egypt, before that it was called Kemet. Like, there's a whole entire history that has been hidden from us, our own history. And so until we realize and see and understand and learn that history, we can never appreciate and create our future.
it's easier to be
Yeah.
comfortable. It's easier to be comfortable, and I feel like a lot of people are comfortable in all
Yeah.
because this is something that it like honestly the fact just talking to you about it, like growing up, like when we were small, like not small but in high school together,
Yeah.
like things that obviously understanding it's so like we're so brainwashed to the point where this is the only information we need to know in life once you're out of college, that or you go to high school, go to college, and that's it. That's the only information. But think about it. If all of us in every single state, I'm using, you know obviously the United States because that's what I know.
Hmm.
But if we are being taught the same curriculum,
Hmm.
measured on the same scale, and that's it, you're really just producing or trying to produce the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
If nothing's different, nobody's saying, hey, maybe you should read this or whatever. Like if you don't have that in your life, and kudos if you did, and if you do. But for the people who are resonating with what I'm saying right now, like just trying to get out of that, knowing that just because you got that degree, just because you got that diploma, just because you got that certificate, doesn't mean that you stop learning. Period. Point blank.
Yeah.
Because you don't know. You don't. There's a lot of things that you don't know,
Yeah.
and it's just yeah.
Yeah. That's what life's about. Ever learning and expanding our own evolution, it's our own expansion. And it's a beautiful thing to know where you come from, know where you stand, and know where you're going. You're empowered at that point. You're
Mm,
disempowered when you don't know where you've been, you don't know where you are, and you don't know where you're going. You're disempowered. So of course you will always, like, your minds will always construct that diminished type of outlook in life. You will continue to think that you're oppressed. You'll believe that you're actually a slave. You'll believe that, oh, that racism is real and white people are better, which is all false. You know, racism is a construct and white people are not better. And so, however, those different things that come into our head and that are internalized, it's something that we need to break free from. And that also goes into the subconscious mind, how easy it is to convince a people, let alone an individual, of something that is not true.
mm,
And power is the ability to create reality. Power
mm,
is to create reality and to believe and put someone else's reality into it. So I actually wrote that down. Okay. Power is the ability to define reality and have others accept it as their own. That's
mm,
and have others accept it as their own.
mm,
So now we believe that white people are superior because they have created a power to define reality, even if that reality is inherently false. However, we have accepted that as truth, and it has been ingrained for years and years. So we really have to do the mental work to pull us out of that. And a lot of us are not willing to do that mental work, don't believe that it even really matters because we're comfy here. We're not getting beat, we're not getting whipped, we're not getting all those horrific things that has happened to our ancestors. Since that's not happening, then we're still good. We've
on
done.
level though. That's the key. It's still happening. It's happening.
It's yeah. Then that's why I said in the beginning, like, it's just covert right
And
now.
why in the world does somebody? What did you? I saw this picture. I don't know how long ago it happened,
Hmm.
but it was this girl. I'm pretty sure she was in high school.
Hmm.
Don't quote me on this. I could find the story and well, actually, I don't even want to link it, but if y'all want to search it up, you can find it. But it's just really sad because they were competing in a competition and they said something about her hair. Mind you,
Hmm.
her hair was in like braids,
Hmm.
uh, and they were saying that wasn't, that was against the handbook.
Hmm.
And in this picture, it's her taking out the braids before the tournament, before the competition, and it's like all these white women, I'm pretty sure, surrounding her, helping her take those out. And when I tell you, it's just like, are you like seriously? It's like, one, the fact that if you want to do something, why not as the team? If my teammate can't play, we're not playing. Period. Why not do that? But no, we're gonna take out her hair.
Yeah.
And please, like, don't say that this is this. Oh, well, we were just helping. No, that's not help. That's not help, because the rule is still there. The issue's still there. I don't know as far as the story and where it went, but the fact that it happened in the first place obviously is a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just kind of like, wow. But at
Yeah.
this point, some things it's like, it's not even surprising anymore. This is like, we can't be surprised. We can't be surprised.
But the thing is, we act surprised every single time. That's the thing. We have the audacity to act surprised, and not expect this as just normal behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like, every single being in the white nation is not an exception to the rule.
Mm.
You can't move like that. You can't move like that. People will show you who their true colors are, yes, but you can't be like, oh, like, well, I'm gonna give everyone a benefit of the doubt, every single one a benefit of the doubt.
Have you heard? Have you watched? There's a man. I think his name is Emmanuel,
Mm.
and his conversations with a black man.
Yes,
Grew
yeah,
up, with
yes, and
yeah,
in 2020, yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I remember when he was describing, he
Mhm.
was like, he was like, I think of interactions with black and white people like this.
Okay.
In the bathroom, you have, your shower, you have your sink. There's a lot of water. There's a
Mhm.
lot of water.
Mhm.
And then you plug up your curling iron. That's
Mhm.
the two can be in the same space,
Mhm. Mhm.
but with one wrong action or one movement, it could be deadly. The
Yeah.
results could be deadly.
Yeah.
And when I tell you that resonated with me so much, it was like the way he explained it. I was just like, it's so true. It's
Yeah.
so true. It's
Yeah.
so true. We can't think of it like we can't think that that can't happen or get too comfortable. You
Yeah.
still you still have all the safety precautions that you need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the way he explained it. He's
That's
a
a
great,
beautiful. Yes.
yeah,
Beautiful.
definitely,
And that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Check him
Yeah.
out.
Exactly. Exactly. And so that's why it's like, it's funny to me, because it's just like, we're really begging everybody to be like, no, put the hair dryer in the bathtub. We gotta be together. Put the hair dryer in the bathtub. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, no, it's okay. No, no.
Because
White ice is not colder.
one, it's been so like
Yeah.
it's been so glossed over that they don't even want to accept their own history of the things that they have done. They don't even want to acknowledge that, recognize that. They don't even want to talk about it. So it's like that whole thing. Slavery doesn't exist anymore. Da da da. Like, why are we bringing this up? Like, they're so ignorant and trying to stay ignorant and not because it doesn't affect them. If we're gonna be honest, they're living in a space where it doesn't really matter if they're woke. It doesn't really matter because they can still walk out and still be chilling. You get what I'm saying? So why is it that we're trying to expect people who have that ability to then be like, oh well, why can't you empathize with us? Why can't you figure that out? When it's like the wrong fight. It's the
Yeah.
wrong trying to get somebody to, it's very difficult. Have you
Yeah.
ever tried to see your side and they're just not trying to see it?
Yeah.
It's everything you explain it, you break it down, you show picture cues, you do all of it.
Graph, PowerPoint,
Like
and everything.
concept like I'm gonna I'ma
Yeah.
just say it.
Yeah. And so
Let's switch
that,
that and try to heal, the things as far as like we were saying with the black community and just bringing that up and and what can we do more that's going to benefit us? Talking and trying to explain to somebody else, hey, get our side. That's not necessarily helping.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
We need to talk to each other because there's a lot of things going on with each other that if we can't figure that out,
Yeah.
then how in the world do you want to go to somebody and explain that when we're still over here saying light skin, dark skin, light skin versus dark skin? We're still having that conversation.
Yeah. 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 I, yes, exactly. And so like bringing up what we can do, what we should be doing right now is like increasing equity in ourselves. And that's not only financially, the equity in ourselves, in our self-love, our self-respect, so that we can have true liberation, which is in the minds. No one can take your minds. No one can take your minds unless you allow them a room in there.
Mm.
Allow them a room. So the first step would be decolonization of the mind. Decolonize your mind. Believe that you are worth it. You are beautiful. You are blessed. You are breathing and you're black. It's a positive thing. It's a positive thing. It's a more than positive thing. Did you know that melanin is worth more per gram than gold? Look it up on Google. Per gram than gold.
What do you mean
You,
as far as worth?
it's worth
Like,
monetarily, melanin, like from the melanocyte, is worth more than gold.
I
Yes.
that's a nice that's a good skin
Yeah.
fact for me right there.
It's a very beautiful thing. And the fact that you have melanin, you are protected by a lot of different diseases, a lot of different things that can go on in the body. And melanocytes, like they're powerful, they're a powerhouse of the cell. They're beautiful. It's great the fact that our melanocytes are working even more. And so looking at the positives either scientifically, because they're not always spoken about, so like we can look into them more so that we can know that from any type of standpoint, we are the standard. We are the standard. You can't get any other race from someone else who's not black. So we're the original man, we're the original woman, the original species. And so with that, like understanding that on the core level, and this may touch a lot of people because like a lot of people don't want to admit like that we have been brainwashed and that we have been fed lies. So I implore everyone to read and look and discover and find out like who you truly are, because you're beautiful. You're from royalty. Like your history does not start with slavery. It doesn't at all. At all. It doesn't. It doesn't. It's just a small sliver of what has happened to us as a nation. It's a small sliver. It just has gotten too much talk time, but it's a small sliver. And so just self-love, like I keep talking about self-love because it's so true that self-love is truly an act of resistance. You being happy in the grocery store, chilling, doing your own thing, you being a business owner, making your own money, you raising a black family with an entire, like y'all have a trust, y'all doing big things, y'all are moving, all these different things, these are forms of resistance. Just you living your life to the fullest and knowing what to do and maneuvering in that type of way. Like that's resistance. It's not marching and walking and that.
Something that two people behind us, two
Yeah,
generations behind us
yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
even do that. So it's like, what are we gonna do? The fact that we have that.
yeah. Exactly, exactly. Our great aunt was at the Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech. She's
That's that fact still blows my mind. That just
physically,
shows it's not
physically,
that far. And she's alive. Okay, don't even try to be like, oh
and
no, she's living right now, and she was at the Martin Luther. Wow.
yes. So you have power in your blood, power running through you, through your entire body. So whenever you feel inadequate, Look in the mirror.
Mm.
Speak to who has been before you, because they're not going to let you forget. They can, and that's why history is so important. That's why family history is so important. Family origin, like learning about all these different things. Ancestry.com is like get a kit from there to figure out your actual African ancestry roots, specific tribes and all that stuff they'll give you. Like let's tap in because it's a beautiful.
I'm when I tell you I'm trying to go to, that's something I'm trying to go to the motherland. I need to.
You're
It's done.
all.
It's done.
It's already done.
It's
It,
done. I just came back.
it yeah. Yes, because like that feeling to just even be over there. But the thing is, it's like here we can have that feeling too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so often we're like, okay, like let's go back. Let's go back, and it's like we have built this land here too, so it's rightfully ours too. And so it's just like, let's move accordingly also with that. So it's just like, understand your space in the whole entire world, besides nations, besides continents, like the entire world. You know,
Mm.
that's it. And then the next thing would be powernomics. Powernomics is a thought process by Dr. Claude Anderson. He has a whole book about it, and it talks about the economic building of the Black community, how we can become actual an economic power within this nation and have actual purchasing power, political power, all these different things. And so right now we're always trying to like look for handouts and all that stuff, but we need to be on that do for self, buy Black, create a business, create a school, create books, do for self. Like, don't wait for nobody. They not coming. They are not coming. They are not coming. Reparations are not coming. Like, reparations are here. They're yours to get. So you creating that business that turns into a multi-million-dollar company, boom. You that creates a book that's going to be a bestseller, boom. You that's going to be the best in your field, the best doctor, the best esthetician, the best author, the best this, the best that. That's it. So go get it for you. Go get it for your people. You know, like that's really what it's about. No one could take that from you. No one can take that from you. And so that self-love, self-liberation, and the creation of a life culture. Let's stop talking about our death. Let's thank the living. Let's really love on each other while we are living. Give roses to each other while we're here. Not roses when you die.
Mm.
Not roses when you
I
die.
always would think about why do we give something that's gonna die as a token when someone dies? Like, why do we do that? I always thought about that because I was like,
Yeah,
wouldn't that just
yeah.
like
It's
in
more for the people who are there, like who are still living. It's
yeah.
for the emotional component,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like the we need to value our life so much that we don't die recklessly. You know, we're not in situations that would put us at that point. So we value ourselves, we value our integrity, we value our honesty, we value we value our space, we value our money, we value everything in that type of way. In that type of way. And it's like, you're exceptional. So believing in Black exceptionality, that's a term that Dr. Claude Anderson coined also. Black exceptionality. Like, we are an exceptional people. We are a unique people on the entire face of this planet, the face of the earth. No people have gone through what we have gone through. Not even the Jews. Yep, I said it. Yep, I said it. Yeah. So we are an exceptional people. Nobody knows the deep pain, the deep power, and the deep positive influence that we can have, not only on ourselves, but the world. We have created so many things. People who were enslaved, all these all these different things we've created. We created the traffic light. We created the broom. We even ice cream. Actually found that out recently. That we have done so many things that we don't even know, that have been hidden from us, that hasn't even been talked about. And that we think that we can't go out there and create a business. We think that we can't go out there and do something new. We think that we can't be the best in this, the best in that. Yo, we can. We can. It's here. Our time is now. It's now. It
Just
makes me excited. It makes me excited to just know like where I come from, how great I am, how beautiful the blood is through my veins, and looking for the beauty in every single person who looks like me,
mm,
not looking for the badness. Because if we look for that, then that's you're gonna find it if you look for it. But we need to speak life into each other. So yeah, like speak life, like speak life, so that we're not gonna destroy each other no more. We can't. Other than that, we're gonna be extinct if we keep doing it.
mm.
No. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Wow.
Yeah.
This was a good talk.
And I hope there was gems. Like I really hope there's gems that just stuck, because it's something that I'm very, very passionate about, and like I want us to move from that self-doubt, that self-diminishing type of thinking. Like we need to be respecting ourselves, loving on ourselves, and loving the people around us. That's really what it's about, truly.
Wow. This is a lot to reflect on. And I'm gonna reflect on it. This is a lot to
Yeah,
reflect on. I definitely
yeah,
just some of the things we talked about. Like even we haven't talked about.
I know. Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
So I hope everyone who tuned in, whatever the case is, you watch it later on the platform, whatever platform you're watching it, that you get something from this. That you do. Obviously, you're not going to learn everything tomorrow, you know, but it's just starting there. Just starting. And it starts with having more conversations like this.
yeah, yeah,
True.
yeah. Candid, honest. Okay. We have to not be scared to talk about race. We can't be scared to talk about what has happened to us, the injustices. We can't be scared about it, because then we can't fix it.
Mm.
We can't. So don't beat around the bush. Nope. No, can't do it no longer. Nope. Mm. So
Well, I love you, Gabs. I'm so glad that you shared all of this information. I'm honestly, this conversation really and have without you. I just want to, share that with you. Um, and yeah, I know they got something from this. So I know y'all leave a comment, leave a message. You can DM us if you want to talk a little bit more.
I'm gonna put all the quotes and the books. I have 5 books that I'm recommending that every single Black being reads, just for starters, because it's a lifelong journey to know yourself. But I'll put that in the description and on my story. I'll do that too. Hmm. Hmm. It's gonna be there. Yeah.
Well, enjoy the rest of you all's Sunday or whatever day you're watching this. Night it is. And I hope to see y'all in the next episode. Um, another announcement. There's
Yes.
no matcha meetup on Mother's Day. Spend some time with your moms. There's no matcha meetup on Mother's Day. It's going to be the weekend after,
Yes.
and that topic will be. Do you want to say it?
It's going to be college experiences. So talking about college life, all the beautiful lessons, love, growing, definitely a lot. So
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
me too.
So stay blessed, everyone. Peace. Power to the people. Bye.